According to a new study, we're bad at telling who our friends are.
Oh.
I know. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's depressing if it's true. But according to this study, first of all, researchers from Tel Aviv University and MIT surveyed 84 students. I know that sounds like a small sample size,
but it's MIT. They're so smart.
You'll hear more.
Okay.
They surveyed these students in an undergraduate course, asking them to rate their relationship with others on a scale from 0, I don't know you, to 5, that we're the best of friends. Now get this, in 94% of the cases, a subject who said another person was a friend expected to view the other friend as like a reciprocated friendship, of course. Well, that wasn't always the case. In fact, only half of those friendships were reciprocal. All right, now I talked about the 84 sample size, right?
Right.
So when I first read it, I was like, 84 people. Well, the same team of researchers, what they did is they analyzed data from 5 previous friendship surveys of 600 students from universities all over in America, Europe, the Middle East, and results were similar, very similar. So, the reason behind it, I just wanted to get into a conversation with Grace about how like depressing this is, but this is what they believe. They believe that their research suggests that many of the non-reciprocal friendships are aspirational. People want to be friends with higher status individuals and behave in ways that indicate friendship, i.e. naming of friends, but higher status individuals have greater choice in which friendships to reciprocate and choose to only behave as a friend to a subset of the friendships offered to them.
What?
Gross. 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 It's like ladder climbing.
No,
like
but
your come up. You're viewing a friendship as a come up.
but then it was saying that the people that are already at the top of the ladder have their choice of who they're friends with, and they don't really reciprocate a lot of the people that want to be their friend.
I know you're obsessed with me.
But also, though, what's interesting, if you to not only paint like the social, like the hierarchy, like meaning like if the higher the social status, like, oh, I'm picking who my friends are, the person on that's looking at to gain a friendship from a social hierarchy standpoint, perhaps they sense that that friendship isn't genuine. So you have to look at both sides. So maybe it's not reciprocated because they think that this person sees them as a come up.
Yeah.
So there's ways to look at it in many ways where you can see them as, okay, they.
But a come up to what?
That's a term. Have you ever heard that term, the come up? Like,
No,
like
I
that
have, but
either,
to what? To
I know.
to get what? What do you want to do? Get invited to the cool parties?
You should just know that we don't do this a lot, so this is like a really huge deal.
Feeling good about yourself, I guess. The way they say it is just naming them as friends makes them feel, whether it impacts their self-esteem, whether they feel like that they are, that it will help their own social stature.
But why do you care?
I know. I agree with you, Grace. This shocked me.
Well, you know what, Sam, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't really shock me because we live in Los Angeles. And I think the hard thing about reading this study was that, it kind of correlates with some people that I do know. And that's unfortunate. However,
Yeah, but that's my point. Here, the whole point about this is that people are that's the whole title of the article, people are remarkably bad at knowing who their friends are. I think you innately, and I feel like I do too, you can kind of sense where the genuine people are and those friends, and that's why you have friendships with those people.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
And maybe you're blindsided and surprised by a few outliers, but for the most part, when you meet a sincere person. And when you meet someone that's not. Some people don't know. 100%.
Well, because I would also
100%. I have been surprised a couple times in the past 15 years, and that's a horrible feeling.
The reason why I'm asking this because I feel like if we're speaking in a status way, which is I think a kind of an interesting part of what this article talks about, a lot of people would look to you as far as like having a certain element of status. You know what I mean? Like you're successful, you have your own business, you're happily married.
Getting there.
You're
I'll
cool.
smoke in mirrors, honey.
No, like you're a genuinely, we're friends off the show as well. Yeah,
yes.
And like you're a genuinely cool person, but you also have a lot going for you.
That's so sweet, Grace.
So I wonder I think there probably are a lot of people that would look at you as one of the people on the top of the ladder. And do you sense when there's someone that's just trying to be your friend for a come up to try and?
I don't view myself the way that you just painted me, and I'm so
I think I can speak for everyone that's watching right now.
Stop.
No,
This
but
is
it's
so
just
weird.
true. I know it's
sweet.
weird, but it's true.
That's
Just
so
just accept it. Look, suspend your disbelief because you're humble to a fault. Just suspend your disbelief. That is who you are. And do you notice when people act that way with you?
I think I have to look at like the past 10 years that I'm in Los Angeles, and what I will say, when something great happens within my career, or whether it's personal or whether it's specifically career oriented, you will see certain people either come out of the woodworks, and I feel like those are people that are,
As in, like, haven't talked to you in a while?
yeah, and I feel like those are people that are trying to lob on for the wrong reasons, or the exact opposite, where certain people kind of like, you see like their inner cattiness come out. For the same reason, you just want to push those two people aside because there's nothing sincere. When something great happens within, whether it's your colleague's life or whether your friend's life, like if you're not genuinely happy for them, I think you just have to look at yourself.
Right.
But why include those people in your life? That's toxic.
Yeah, and I think what this article,
But you've experienced that too, Grace.
I will, to a much lesser extent.
A little bit recently, you experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, to a lesser extent, I think that this article does make you sort of think about. There's a disconnect that I've recently been experiencing in my own life, where it's being happy for people is something that is really easy for me.
Me too.
And by the way, it's super fun. If your friend gets into a college that was their dream school and you haven't heard back yet,
booked a dream
or
gig,
booked a dream
I get
job or
inspired
something,
by that. Some people don't.
yeah, and
rare.
but the come up, the idea of people want to be friends with someone that is of a higher status, the come up idea is like a real disconnect for me. And it's strange because I live in LA where, as you were discussing, it is pretty common that you have people that are kind of looking for their next gig and friendship kind of to the wayside. And I don't understand. That seems like a lot of energy and a lot of strategy when it's a lot easier to just, when people are good to you, be good back to them. And when something happens to a friend of yours, oh my gosh, throw them a fucking party because great for them. And then just focus on yourself. So this study, I'm reading it through and it's got to be true. It is well researched. But I don't understand the mentality behind it.
Yeah. And it really hurts you. Like at the end of the day, if you want to come from like a perspective of, in a selfish way, let's say you're selfishly looking at it, and I think that's going to read insincere too to the people around you. But if you do want to look at it in a selfish way, when you are there for your friends and you rise up together, when you have your out, they're there to pick you up. When you rise up, you're there to pick them up. So it gives you a lot more longevity and sustainability within your career. If you're looking at it from that standpoint, you shouldn't. It should always come from an altruistic standpoint, and I think people will pick up on the difference. But being like a Debbie Downer or lobbing on at people for the wrong reasons or bashing them because they're succeeding and you're not, it's not gonna serve you.
Well, here's the beauty of friendship, Samantha Shocker. The beauty of friendship is that there's nothing in it except love. Yeah. There's no money, there's no sex, there shouldn't be any, you shouldn't be looking at it from a career standpoint or from any sort of a strategy sort of thing. It's just love. It's when you're friends with someone, when you're a really good friend to someone, it's so profound because you're only that person's friend because you think they're awesome and you just want to be around to lift them up and encourage them. That's what a pure friendship should be, right? And they dig you too, and they're like, I don't want to have sex with you, and I don't want to give you any money, or I'm not asking for any money, but I think you're great, and I want to hang around for the ride and see where you go, and let's go there together. And that's beautiful and profound. And so to read studies like this, it's a little disheartening because to me, that's the only way that's the only way I can process friendships. I don't respond well to friend drama at all because I just want to be supportive and. So I would hope that we both have those sort of friendships.
I know.
Yeah. I think that this was interesting for us to read because we're very similar in that way. We do not deal well. We're just like, why can't we just be friends?
I feel
and
bad
love each
for
other?
the people that are blindsided. Thinking that they have a genuine friendship and then they find out that it's not.
It's hard.
Genuine.
We've both been through that.
I've been through that, and that's really, really hard. So chin up, folks.
Yeah, let's all be friends.
Yeah.
Be our friend in the comment section below.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time on Pop Trigger.